Okay, so greetings, kindred. I am Voivode Maquette. This is Guinn Alverson. This is our World of Darkness, and we are doing our 800 subscribers special, which is...
That's amazing.
That is. It's awesome. We're actually at like 830 now.
I never thought like this many people would be interested in our little gaming groups. You know,
I'm surprised how many people actually get excited for the recaps.
But you other than the recaps, I mean, you do the lore sheets and stuff. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that just tune in for that.
Yeah, and we're actually I'm working out how to do another segment called TLDR, thanks to I think it was Steve Winkleberg.
Yeah.
Steve Winkleberg. He asked me the question about the Anarchs with a TLDR, and it just kind of like everybody loved that apparently. So.
Oh, that actually worked out really nice.
Yeah, I was really shocked.
To that the other day.
Really shocked. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you make YouTube videos, you have your analytics channel or your little analytics page, and it tells you how much, how many views you get, how many good responses you get from it, and if you cap out, if you hit a new level, you get little fireworks that pop up, and I haven't seen those in weeks because there's the same amount of people who are constantly watching things all the time. But when I did the TLDR, dude, the first day I got those fireworks.
That's
crazy.
It
was faster than I had ever gotten them, which I mean, that's the point. So, but like, I think I was like, within the first like couple hours, I had like 140 views already on that, which is kind of nuts. Anyway, so 800 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So we're gonna go over the questions that were originally brought over by our community for people who want to know. So I think we're gonna start off with the typical. Tell us about the player behind the fangs. Tell us about you.
Oh, it's not much to know. I'm natively from Naples, Florida. So
I didn't know that.
I am a Florida native.
No, I didn't know you were from Naples.
I was born there and raised pretty much between Fort Myers, Lehigh, and a couple other areas. So I'm about as local as you can get.
Well, Orlando brat.
Yeah.
We're both pretty much just a bunch of crackers. I mean.
Yep. But, yeah, I mean, I've been playing World of Darkness games pretty much since they first started out. Back in 1998, I was playing with my friends in school in the cafeteria, which was always interesting because we were always in a rush to get our scenes done before the lunch bell.
Yeah, my very first little tryst with the World of Darkness was a Werewolf the Apocalypse game that we ran at our high school lunch table. I didn't know what it was at the time, but like
it does surprise me how many people actually did that back in high school.
Yeah, game at lunch.
Yeah,
game at lunch.
I mean, we had we had about 5 players, so it was a small game. I mean, because it was small, our storyteller didn't really care what we were playing, so we had like one person that would always come in with a mage. We had, I would either play vampire or werewolf just because, their rules are a lot simpler than mage.
Oh man, mage.
Or trying to figure out hunter or. Yeah.
Let's try to make Mage 5th edition not like reading stereo instructions.
Yeah, headache inducing.
Yeah. So, anything else? Anything else you want to tell us about you?
Well, I figure whatever you're gonna ask, there's gonna be stuff coming out in the question. So.
Okay. Well, you already answered how long you've been playing. You started around 1998.
Yep.
So that's about 6 years after the whole thing started, so that's a pretty good time. You're old. We're both getting up there, man. So how did you get into Masquerade in general?
Well, like I said, originally it was part of the my high school thing with the cafeteria, but other than that, after I graduated high school, seriously, I was just kind of wandering downtown one night looking for something to do, and I'm dirt broke. And then I find this huge group of people together, and as it turned out, it was our original LARP game out in downtown.
Souls Who Brave the Darkness. Souls Who Brave the Darkness.
And back then, that game was huge. I mean, we had Fae, we had Hunter, Mage, Vampire, and Werewolf all going at once. We also had like 1 or 2 Hunters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that game was literally taking up 3 blocks of downtown, and we had over 50 players. I mean, but yeah,
It was nuts.
when I got there, I immediately recognized a couple of my high school friends, and they immediately started introducing me around, and I made a character sheet. That was my very first LARP game.
That's where we met.
Yeah,
That's where we met.
A couple years later, well, about a year later. So
yeah, but a mutual.
I graduated in 2001. So
Yeah, and I graduated in 2003.
So, yeah,
A mutual friend of ours, Devin,
yeah,
is the one who actually invited me to. And Devin played Faye. He invited me to.
pretty sure Devin
the game.
was a Fae.
Devin was a Fae. Dude, he was like a living, walking anime character. I'm not even joking about that. But no, he invited me while I was on the bus one time. He's like, "What do you do Wednesday nights?" And then like a year later, I showed up.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, favorite clan and why?
You know, it's really hard for me to pick that one. There are a lot of clans that I do like to play.
Yeah, you've played most of them.
Yeah, most of them. Like I do like the Bruja. I like the social aspect of Clan Bruja.
That was the first thing you played when I met you. You were playing John Buchanan.
Yep. Other than that, I do like playing Gangrel because I do like playing Guru.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't have a Guru option, I will often play Gangrel. I like Salubri. I like. I played Ventrue. I played Toreador. You know, out of all the general clans that are in the books, I think there's maybe only a couple I have not played.
Yeah. Your Toreador are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. You always go for that like almost neo-modern art kind of thing with the like cars and my God, my phone already.
That's why I started silencing mine the moment I heard.
Yeah, I thought mine was silenced. Sorry, that's my fault. Party foul. So yeah, like out of everything that you played, though, is there anything that really calls you, or do you think Gangrel and Bruja are really your big ones?
I think Gangrel's probably one of my big ones right now, at least. I mean, if we're in a Dark Ages setting, that might switch things up a little bit.
Yeah. Dark Age, I mean, that's a whole new thing. Like, I can't wait to. Eventually, I want to run a V5 Dark Age game.
Yes.
That's
maybe
so much
you
fun.
know. Not that I'm in a hurry for Thicker Than Water to end, but maybe after.
Well, it doesn't have to end. There's always prequels. We did the Wild West prequel game that one time a while ago.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I love Wild West games. I did run one for a little while, and but unfortunately, it just kind of players couldn't make it.
Yeah. We killed a player.
Yeah.
We killed one player and the game folded. It was awful. All right. Least favorite clan.
Least favorite. You know, that once again, that's another one that's hard to pick because there's always something a little bit that you can identify with each clan that you play.
Yeah, most people say Nos. It's really sad. Like the Nos have such a rich history.
I can actually get the Nos too because you know they're kind of the loners. I mean, except for like in their own social groups.
Yeah,
and I get that. You know, I think the one. If I had to pick one clan, it probably would be Giovanni because they're
least favorite.
Dude, those guys are well.
I love them.
Yeah,
I love them. I love the Hecata now too. I think they've done a really cool job.
Well, I said Giovanni. I didn't say Hecata or Cappadocian or.
All right, I get you.
Yeah.
All right, so additions. You've been playing since nearly the beginning of World of Darkness, back when White Wolf was a thing, and you've played through most of the editions. Mm-hmm. You've story told for me in a couple of the editions. So what's your favorite?
Honestly, I really did enjoy the 20th anniversary edition. I had a lot of fun with that one. I'm still getting used to V5. When it first came out, I mean, it had a little bit of kinks to work out.
Yeah.
which was nice when they put out that errata for it.
Yeah, the companion really helped out.
It really did.
We got the new one coming out too. The Player's Guide, I think it's called, where it's going to take all the information from all the other books and put it into one big book. From what I understand, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, like all the clans, all the powers, and everything are going to just be in one thing, and it's going to be all the updated information.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So V20, huh?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, we used it for quite a few years.
We ran V20.
Well, V20, W20.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it was a pretty smooth system. It was too detailed for me.
I liked when they released it for the Werewolf W20 because if you had that book, you only needed that one.
If any book could break a table when you drop
that thing was ag dealing.
That thing was huge. I've seen
Really
Bibles smaller than that book. All right. So tell us about your character.
All right. Well,
if you want, go into both because you were the first person to play 2 characters in this game too.
All right. So my original character was Deacon Royce, and for those that have been paying attention to the recaps, he was a Lasombra Anti-Tribu. He was one of the original Lasombra Anti-Tribu. He actually attended the Convention of Thorns and was part of the original Anarch Revolt. Over time, at the end of the revolt, his sire signed up with the Camarilla, not finding the Sabbat plans exactly to his liking. At the time, Deacon was still a fairly young kindred. So he kind of just did what his sire told him to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're under 5 years embraced, that's what you do.
Well, back then, if your sire's not throwing you in front of the church hunters, you just kind of go with what they're saying.
Pretty much, and you hope they don't throw you under the church hunters.
Yeah, that's true.
Currently, Deacon is shelved. He gave in to the call.
Back in the.
Excuse me.
You let me play test a system, and I appreciate that. Because Deacon Royce, in our old game, he was an 8th generation. Like, that's a pretty powerful vampire, making Damien 9th gen. But when you, basically every game session that we played, we rolled your willpower.
Yep.
And then every time you lost one of the rolls, the die pool would get smaller and smaller. It wouldn't affect your standard willpower, but your willpower to resist the beckoning.
Yep.
So that was very interesting, and you ended up going away during a time jump, actually.
Yeah, he just kind of got up one day.
I'm done. Bye.
Screw you guys. I'm going to East.
I wonder how Deacon's doing.
I don't know. We'll have to come back to that one day.
Yeah, see how he is.
I mean, right now I don't have much of a reason to bring him back, other than him coming back and finding out that Damien's gone, and
I might sit you down one day and just like fast track all of the stuff I can think about, like try to say it as fast as I can at you, and go, okay, whatever you can remember, you can tell them. Bye.
Oh, jeez. See, that's why I cheat. I like
record everything.
Yeah. My eidetic memory.
So you've been playing Gabriel.
Yes.
Which is a Gangrel. Gangrel Anti-Tribu, actually. We're playtesting. We're playtesting the Sabbat from the Sabbat, player's guide that's floating around. That's doing really well on Storyteller's Vault. Yeah. The more I read about that book, there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm just kind of like, I don't really agree with the writers on this one, but the mechanics are solid, and I can't deny that. So
it's still a little bit better write-up than what we had with the Black Handbook.
Yeah, well, the actual V5 Sabbat book. Well, that's because it's player oriented.
Yeah, that one was more storytellers.
So you brought Gabriel in,
yep.
Which he's such in an interesting position, because not only was he effectively a defector from the Sabbat, he's a member of the Cult of Mithras.
Yep.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, he's kind of like, he's in the Cult of Mithras more or less because,
keeping him safe from the Sabbat.
Yeah.
And now you're tied in with this ridiculous group of anarchs.
Yeah, well, They're not that bad.
You could rebuild a pack.
I can.
If you could just get Tinia to do the damn boulder.
I'll just keep on working at it. Don't worry.
Chip away at that resolve. Eventually she's going to get bloodbound, and eventually she's going to need your help.
Yep.
Yeah.
By then I'll have to get, like, addictive VAT on my sheet or something.
So... Cheater. So, like, where did Gabriel come from? Like, I know you were playing Deacon Royce a decade ago when we ran Thicker Than Water for 2nd edition revised. But, like, where did the idea for Gabriel come from?
Gabriel was pretty much just a fresh concept. I wanted something a little bit different. I do play a lot of gangrel, but when you're dealing with city gangrel versus country, there's quite a bit of philosophy differences between the two.
Yeah.
I mean, even the disciplines are different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially now that we're dealing with, you get this discipline for being on this path, this discipline for being this type of feeder.
Yeah, it's an interesting system, but it works really well.
I like the fact that it makes characters not so cookie cutter. Back there in the earlier editions of Vampire, almost everybody had the same starting character. It didn't matter what clan they were.
Well, in Thicker Than Water, if you remember, we had 15 gangrel players.
Oh yeah.
And almost I could have handed them all each other's sheets, and most of them would not even know the difference if they hadn't looked at the names.
Oh, I believe it.
The characters are so normal, but thanks to predator types and things like that, we get such a wide variety of things that the characters can do.
I'll admit, I got some of my inspiration probably from my stepdad. He's a biker guy.
Okay.
It is kind of funny. Every time he wants to ride, his bike will never start. So he goes out, spends like 2 hours working on his bike for maybe an hour's worth of ride time.
Yeah, but if you love it, you love it.
Yeah, and he really does love it. He used to ride with the American Legion bikers, and either way, he enjoyed it. I got to go to the Wheels of Time Museum, which was a awesome experience. If you ever get a chance to do that, you should definitely go.
Sounds good.
They had like old motorcycles that were made out of like mine carts and all kinds of crazy
That's
stuff.
That's awesome.
They had some of the older World War II motorcycles. Even their lawnmower was a freaking trike.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
I like the idea of a motorcycle with a blade attached to it like that. That's terrifying.
If you look on my Facebook, there's actually a picture of that.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so what... You're on silence. Anyway, what do you think of? I guess this is two-part again. We'll start with the older one. What do you think of what we did with Deacon Royce's storyline?
I liked it. If I had the choice, I would not have left quite so abruptly.
Yeah.
But I mean, when the beckoning has you, what else can you do?
Yeah.
And I knew from the get-go that when I started playing that character, it was not going to be for long.
When we were talking about him bringing in Deacon Royce again, that was the first thing that came up, was like the beckoning is happening, and you're going to have to go through it.
That's one thing that, as long as you've been a storyteller, if there's whatever reason we can't run a character for very long, you've always been upfront about that, which I do appreciate. Like a couple of years ago, we were playing I had a friend of mine that was playing a character that was Tremere, and we were running through a storyline that they were dying out and losing their thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
And
this was not we're going to throw you a test and see if you live situation. This was we're going to get to a point in the game, and I'm not telling you that your character is just going to die. I'm not throwing you a test. You don't have a chance. Your character is just dead. But he wanted to play Tremere for a while.
Yeah.
So,
and then it's just up to the player whether or not they want to accept those terms.
Yeah. Well, I let him negotiate what he got as a...
Oh, heck, you let him come in with an old clan Zamisi afterwards. So,
yeah, with Khaldun.
That's a nice trade-up.
Yeah, and I let him keep, I think I let him keep half of his points.
Yeah.
Since he was doing me a favor, because we didn't have any other Tremere players. So letting the other characters become emotionally attached, one way or another, to that Tremere, and then have him just suddenly be taken from them was that was pretty vicious. Of course, we had another player also who ended up getting affected by the same thing, because it was really, I had killed off anything that had any type of connection with the vicissitude discipline, like at all, because we were doing basically vicissitude as a disease plotline.
He's addicted to Gehenna plots.
We've discussed this, that I'm known as the Gehenna storyteller, but I'm doing good.
So far.
I'm good. I've taken my methadone. This plotline hasn't... this plotline hasn't devolved into Gehenna. Don't think I haven't been. I think I said this before. I think I said it with Daviga, that with the Gehenna war running in the background, it's just kind of my fix. You know? Like, I know what's going on.
There's Gehenna going on in the background, but you guys don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. This is just for the storyteller to get what he needs. So... So, but yeah, what did you think of that whole storyline with him? Because you were fighting to stay around.
Yeah, and you know, Deacon was one of my favorite characters originally. I do like him. I actually found my original copy of Deacon way back from the original game.
The old Mind's Eye Theater Deacon.
He was a nasty freaking character.
Nasty character.
Yeah.
You were not on Humanity.
No, I was a Path of Power nerd.
Yes, which fits with the Camarilla terrifyingly.
It really does. But you know what also works really well if you think about it? You ever read through the Path of the Hive?
Yeah, I have.
It works out there. Yeah, it works. If you apply it right, it can.
I always thought Path of the Hive was a good Tremere path.
Yeah.
You just take out infernal overlords and put Council of Seven and you're good.
There is that House Tremere that is nothing but infernalists.
Yeah. Brotherhood of the Horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a scary house.
So, Gabriel's story. What do you think of Gabriel's story?
I'm enjoying him so far. You know, I'm still kind of getting used to the new character. It's not too different from what I'm used to. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is still Gangrel.
This past session.
Yeah.
This past session. I haven't done the recap yet. I don't care if you put spoilers out there because I plan on I'm going to try to film the recap today. But this past session.
That was a really violent session.
That was a very violent situation you found yourself in.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not on Humanity.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done well. And we need to do a stain test for you, actually, because your Gangrel anti-tribute gained stains.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Yeah, I'll let you do the recap.
Okay.
And talk about that.
Okay. That was such an interesting scene, though. We could probably just spend the next half hour talking about that, but we'll move on.
It was a fun scene, though.
Yeah.
Overall.
I guess. What else have you played?
Let's see. Other than
outside of Masquerade.
Outside of Masquerade, I have played Exalted. I have played Changeling, Mage, Demon, Hunter. If you want to count outside of World of Darkness. Yeah,
I was, but go for it. You keep listing World of Darkness stuff if you want to.
Let's go. I'm currently in a D&D 3.5 campaign with a friend of mine, and I've got my son involved in that.
Very cool.
So he's just learning the ropes on that.
If you want your kids to not have any money for drugs,
you get them
started in gaming.
Oh, that's okay. I got them hooked on D&D, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon.
Very cool. I wrote
never have money for drugs.
I wrote a Pokemon tabletop game for my kids a few years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. I literally just took the the guidebook for red, blue, and yellow, and added dice values to all the character points on there, and just had them run through the regular game.
Other than those games, I've also played Star Wars D20, which is a really fun system.
Very cool.
And there's a couple other systems I've kind of glanced at and haven't really had a chance to play yet. But looking forward to maybe trying it out eventually.
Yeah. My son GB, I don't use his real name on here. He has a YouTube name. He's GoBread06. GB. He's interested in playing the Supernatural role-playing game, like
That's
Sam
cool.
and Dean Winchester Supernatural stuff. And we only got one session in before like life took a horrible turn to the schedules. But we were playing a PG Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages game.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. If you could meet and spend time with one canon character, who would it be?
That'd actually be pretty easy for me to pick. I like Beckett.
Beckett?
Yeah. I actually have a real interest in archaeology and history.
Yeah.
And Beckett's one of those types of characters that I could probably have a long conversation with.
Yeah. He's interesting. I don't know, he's kind of swarmy.
Yeah,
he's so arrogant.
I didn't say he was a nice guy. I just said I could have a good conversation.
They literally took that whole stereotype of, hey, here's an atheist who like treats everybody who has beliefs like idiots.
Yeah.
And put him into a gang role.
Yeah. But, like I said, he does have interest in archaeology and that kind of stuff. And really not just him. I mean, really any NPC that has those kind of interests,
Yeah.
I would probably enjoy having a conversation with.
Well, we have a copy of Beckett's Jihad Journal that's floating around in-game in character.
Yes.
And everything that's in there I'm considering a canon. And there's some stuff in that book that is going to light some fires under people if it gets out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got copies of it on PDF. But, But I got to get with...
you got to get with Tinia. Tinia's got the book at the moment. Because, let's see, Justin got it from Miles, who gave it to Tinia. Because Justin is just a suck-up. I know the Sabat don't acknowledge clans, but that is the most Toreador anti-tribute I've ever seen. He's such a suck-up. Okay, so you'd meet up with Becca. That's cool. Alright, my favorite question. What's the meanest thing I've ever done to you in Thicker Than Water?
Do we include
you can include previous games in this if you want to. I'm interested.
Oh, God. Wow. This guy's an asshole. Let's see. I had the mortal character who ended up getting forcibly embraced by the gargoyle with Tremere blood.
My Pokemon! Yes!
I came in as a living mortal relative of House Tremere.
Yeah.
He got involved with some dark thaumaturgy shit that... I'm sorry, you're going to have to edit that.
Whatever, I don't care.
Sorry.
We're not getting paid yet.
Well, anyways, I end up helping an NPC get some dark thaumaturgy material to perform this ritual. What was it called? Feline?
Oh,
it's the one where we turn like all of its victims.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's the Felis something. I can't remember what it's called.
Well, anyways, we end up
dark
turning the local Tremere in the area into cats, and effectively locking them out of their chantry during the daytime.
Yeah, a lot of cats incinerated that day.
Well, in the days after this event, my character, who is... I'm playing a human sorcerer.
Yeah.
Well, was just like, hey, well, there's this chantry now that's basically unmanned, and I'm sure they've got magic relics in there. So I decided I was going to go out and investigate the chantry and what's left of it. But what was left of it was a gargoyle.
Yeah, one of the Dark Age Sentry gargoyles was there. Yeah. He
didn't know what to do with me because I tried to convince him, and I did like several social challenges to convince him that the Tremere are no longer there. So
winning that test was the worst thing you ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, since there were no Tremere around to tell him what to do, he found some Tremere blood and embraced me using the Tremere blood.
He made a Tremere.
He made a Tremere. So he now had someone to tell him what to do.
So, I'm sorry, that was an interesting concept. The idea of the gargoyle who's not free yet, because this is Dark Ages, and loses all of the Tremere, and then finds a Tremere relative, like, I don't know if you were part of the Durcheski Revenant family or what.
No, if you look in the Blue Hunter book, Laws of the Hunt,
yeah,
they talk about mortal relatives.
Yeah,
of what was remaining of House Tremere.
So he's playing an Order of Hermes mage, effectively sorcerer, and then
not fully awakened.
Yeah. So the gargoyle literally takes some preserved blood, kills and drains him, and then drains the blood into him so that he gets embraced as a Tremere, and he's like, okay, now what? You're a Tremere, so you tell me what to do.
Let's see, there was that one.
I forced a gargoyle retainer onto you.
You did. Which, yeah, that was bad. But, there's one character that still stands out even more.
Huh.
My caitiff.
Oh, God.
I had a caitiff, which we deemed Type 2 Kate at the time.
That one.
He had no memories.
Okay, I gotta explain what this is. We had Type A and Type 2 caitiffs in the game. Type A was your standard, you build a character who doesn't have a standard clan, choose whatever disciplines you want, standard caitiff. This is the way you normally do it. Type B was an option. Players had to opt for it. And what it meant was you build a character with only 2 disciplines. I choose your third one and don't tell you what it is. And I will activate it from time to time just until you figure it out. And then you have a clan, but you don't know what it is. It's not like a thin blood anomaly thing. It's not like you are a mutation, your clan didn't show up, or that you were kicked out of the clan. You literally...
You have a clan.
You have a clan, you just don't know what it is. And, I mean, obviously you could go to the Tremere and, pay out the ass and try to figure out what it was. But the whole idea was just to add a little bit of chaos into the game.
Yeah.
So this one chooses Auspex and Dominate.
And that character, he had points of performance and crafting, specialized in violins. Dick.
He thought he was a Tremere because he took Auspex and Dominate. And what I had done was turned him into a Malkavian who suffered from fugue and a bunch of other stuff. And he was running around.
Go ahead.
He was running around making violins out of catgut, literally making his strings.
Embraced.
He was embracing the cats, and I understand that you're not supposed to be able to do that, but there's no rules that says what happens. Most of them are just oh, they die, and I'm that's boring. What if? Because the animals, if you embrace an animal, it doesn't have humanity to deal with. It just reverts to the beast. You embrace a cat, it goes wassail automatically. But he wanted I made it so that his character wanted vampiric violence. There was something in the blood about I'm sorry.
I'm glad you find this
so much. All these years later, it's still funny. So his character was embracing cats, ripping them open, making the catgut strings, and then putting them in a bag in his refrigerator. And since his character doesn't eat, doesn't drink. He never opened his refrigerator. So his character, when he wasn't in control, was doing all this. And then, and then one night there was a security camera that caught him. There's a security.
Breathe.
I'm sorry. It was so funny. This character gets caught running down the road with a white sheet over his body, looking like a bad Halloween ghost. Running and flailing, covered in this sheet, past the security camera, while the contents of the bag that was in his fridge escaped. So you have all these half cats that are just like addicted to his blood, just like crawling at him across this security camera. This security footage was such a breach, just because there were these weird zombie cats that were chasing him down. Now, luckily, he gets in before the sun rises and doesn't die, but the cats don't, so eventually they just kind of like go up in flames because they're vampires. That was the meanest thing I've done to you?
I really think that one breaks up there.
That was another situation where it was like, okay, your character is going to die, so let's go out with a boom.
Yeah.
So I like, eventually the big bad, because I felt the need to put like villains in my games back then. Eventually the big bad, who did end up being like some really nasty infernal Tremere, ended up giving him a
ring with Laura Flames.
Yeah, like all the levels of Laura Flames on it. And I was like, I want you to try to kill as many players as you can. Have fun. Go. And then you got staked by a telephone pole.
Yeah.
You really can't miss with a telephone pole.
You really can't.
You really can't. I did not stake him. That was another player character.
I mean, we have been playing games for so long together. I mean, we've done a lot of messed up crap to each other.
That's true. That's true. That's true. This one here was the one who was running the game with the Malkavian. Not like it was a player character, but you were running the tabletop game where I was playing an old clan Zamitzi who wanted to collect all of the disciplines. And I found that Malkavian who had Obfuscate. And their player was like, you have to dance to use Obfuscate.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I remember that.
And like, I didn't know if it was the player's... if it was the character's derangements, or if it was just the player being a jackass. Because
Maybe
this player was a
both.
jackass.
Could have been a little bit.
But they were like, yeah, if you want to use Obfuscate, you got to do a little bit of this. A little bit of this.
Any of you
And you shimmy back behind a dumpster and go, and you just disappear.
If any of you seen the video called "The Madness Returns"?
Oh god, yeah,
That
it's
was the dance.
Madness Combat.
Madness Combat.
Madness Combat. Yeah, it's dumb. I'll put a link to Madness Combat in the description if you guys want to see that. It's a lot of fun. It's cute. It is a rabbit hole though. I think there's like 15 videos that go with it, so you will waste a day watching these. You will waste a day watching these. This isn't a you could. You will. You'll get sucked into it.
Yeah, you can watch Zombie Jesus just in time for Easter.
Zombie Jesus, yeah, that's true. That should be an Easter tradition. Okay, so what's your favorite plot that I've run you through?
Right now, I am actually thoroughly enjoying the plot that we're running currently with the, going through the Chicago by Night stuff.
Yeah.
So I am enjoying that.
Good.
I've always though been very partial to Dark Ages games.
Yeah.
You can do a lot more. You can affect the timeline depending on what you do. I mean, it's been a while since I played in that, but I've always enjoyed.
I think V5 is doing a good job with that though, because they found a way to make it so you can pretty much you can play Anarch, you can play Camarilla, and you can have any of the clans that you want to play involved in that now. You can play, it's a major Camarilla city, and somebody brings in a Zamitzi, And people might be freaked out, but it's not unheard of now. You know, that's something that could happen.
You know, the character himself might get some strange looks, like, oh crap, it's a Zamisi. What?
Yeah, I really like the way that they're doing that now. I like that.
I am enjoying that. I do like how they are kind of bringing in more playability to some of the bloodlines. When I've ran games before in the past, I won't say I'm anti having players as like for Clan Asimite, Banu Hakim. But I would always get these players that would have no idea how to really play those types of characters.
Yeah, they just wanted to play it because it was an assassin that had cool assassin powers.
Yeah, that's just it. And so at one point, I had said, all right, unless you have a valid reason to be in the city, you're there to find your target, kill your target, and then leave.
Yeah.
But now they are officially part of the Camarilla, so they have reasons to be in the city, so I can't use that as an excuse.
I don't know if you've seen this or not, but the Forbidden Religions book actually has the rules. I haven't read through that one yet. There's actually rules in the Forbidden Religions book on how to play the actual Asimites now. Not the Banu Hakim of the Camarilla. I'm talking about the Banu Hakim of Alamut. Like, that is... like, how to play Path of Blood. Like, what the rules are. All that stuff is on there. And I'm like, dude, we needed that 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, some of that would have been nice when, they were publishing clan books.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
yeah, there's only so many, like... there's always a safe house in the city with an Asimite who has a bunch of guns that he'll give to you. Come on, man. Give us this little something else. I think V5's doing a really good job on that one. All right, so you like what I'm doing with Chicago at the moment, which is, oh my god, that's such a huge relief to me, because I really thought that, like, stepping outside of Portland is a scary thing for me to do right now.
I mean, right now, my character kind of being on the fence line between Anarch and Sabat, and he is very paranoid because...
as you should be.
Given the area we're in, if I step 1 foot out of line... there's no chance in hell I'm going to...
yeah, how much does Jackson know?
Yeah.
Does Kevin Jackson know that you're Sabat? That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And the worst part is you're not even really...
I'm not really Sabat, but I'm not really Anarch. At one point, I actually suggested that Portland should go independent.
Yeah.
And...
for a little while, I thought that people are going to be like, okay, let's make the Zamitzi on the mountain in charge.
Yeah, we had talked about that too, having like a...
I thought that was going to happen. It was like, let's just give him the city, and then like have the players end up being like barons of like certain districts.
No one's going to fuck with the old Zamisi.
Exactly. Because right now he'll protect the mountain, tooth and nail. He'll kill anybody who messes with that mountain. But the city's not his territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys make the city his territory, and I feel bad for anybody who actually decides to cross Ivan Vassell. That's just not gonna go well. All right, so
you don't mess with Khaldoons in there.
You don't. Anything else you want to say out there? Because we do have a few. Gabriel and Deacon Royce fans out there who are interested in your input.
Well, if anyone wants to chat World of Darkness stuff, I'm always available on Facebook. I'm on the group page, and if you guys want to reach out, I'm on Messenger and on the Discord now.
Yeah, we've got that Discord. We've got the Discord going now. I'll go ahead and I'll put the link to that in this also, because we are at the point where we're going to start opening it full blast to everybody.
Yeah.
Because we've been very careful. Like, first we invited like a dozen people in.
Yeah.
And then we opened it for 24 hours, and then whoever could get in got in. But like, we're gonna go ahead and open those floodgates, I think, now, because it's kicking off a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Have you looked at the Discord lately?
Oh, I'm on it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm quiet, but I'm watching.
We're one of the players have begun setting up a W5 system werewolf book.
Yeah, silent comedy. He's awesome. He knows what he's doing. I'm actually looking forward to a game that he's setting up that I'm going to play in, which is a World of Darkness rules set in an Elseworld kind of thing, where it's like it's like all vampire history happened up until the Anarch Revolt, and then the Anarchs won.
Okay.
So the concept of they had embraced so much to the point where the clans have effectively disappeared. So it's just a bunch of like vampires that like caitiff. It's like
they're thin bloods and caitiffs.
Yeah, it's the whole concept is like the whole world is run by caitiffs. And like whenever somebody pops up with a mutation and they start showing that they have a clan, they're the outcasts.
That's interesting.
I am so looking forward to this. This guy has like an imagination. He's actually he's a lot of the inspiration to what I'm doing currently with our plotline right now.
I'm kind of reading through his W5 write-up right now.
Mm-hmm.
I told him I'd help him out where I can because I have been playing for so long. I'm a little bit more familiar with the Farah tribes than he is, so hopefully we'll have a decent write-up of Farah to go along with the werewolf side of things.
Very cool.
So, but yeah, I've been, like I said, if anyone wants to talk World of Darkness in general with me, I don't think there is a single genre of the World of Darkness I have not played.
Yeah, he knows more than I do when it comes to a lot of stuff. Like when it comes to werewolf and Farah and mage and all that. Like I know a fair enough.
I'll admit you probably know more about the V5 system than I do, though.
I do kind of,
because you have been reading.
It's kind of my job at this point.
But I mean, as far as the older systems, some of the lore when it comes to like, Baby Demon or Hunter of the Reckoning or something like that, Changeling. I mean, I do enjoy that.
Yeah, I love the stories. Good stories.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's the totality of the interview. We didn't do that bad. It's only been like 48 minutes.
Yeah.
This is a lot like me and Daviga went for like an hour and a half. So. So anyway, I guess that's it. We got 900 next. And we're actually getting close to that. We're at 830 now as of time of this recording, and I guess the final interview is between Cole, who was previously we were calling them Nick, but it's the player of Justin. Justin.
Cole is my original World of Darkness. Well, I guess she's not really my original, but. My downtown storyteller. She was one of my original
Cole was my first. Cole was my first storyteller.
So
yeah. So I'm this is going to be interesting because this is going to be hitting into territories because as far as me going, hey, what's the meanest thing I've ever done to you as a storyteller? Which Cole has definitely a long list of things that I've done to them because they've been playing. As me as a storyteller since I started Thicker Than Water.
So you can also exchange that. So do you remember?
What's the meanest thing that you ever did to me?
Yeah.
Definitely can ask those questions. So, I'm Voivode Maquette. This is Guinn Alverson. This is our World of Darkness, and we are celebrating 800 subscribers. That is... It's so crazy every time I stop and think about it. But, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess we'll see you later. Bye.